Hello there, my name is Nate Jackson, the Eclipser. Did you miss me? I don't think so. Anyway, we're here to discuss Part 3, the last movie in Series 10, Silent Ozu 3 Family Comedies, Yasujiro Ozu's Tokyo Chorus, Tokyo no Korasu. 1931, 90 minutes, black and white, silent with optional score, Japanese titles with optional English subtitles, 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio. So this was actually, we're going back a little, this was actually before I was born, but this was one of the earliest one in the series. However, I just went with the order of the discs. If you look at the catalog numbers, Passing Fancy is ECL 047 and Tokyo Chorus is ECL 048. So I just went with the order that Criterion put them out on, or the Eclipse or whoever. So anyway, again, this one's probably, I want to say this might be probably the least funniest of the films. Although I know that's not true. There's a lot of good humor in this movie, but there's probably Passing Fancy is probably the least comedic of the comedies that we've seen. But this is the second one. This one stars Tokihiko Okada as Shinji Okajima, and Okajima is a student. At the beginning of the movie, he's a student at school, and he's kind of a goof off. He's kind of a layabout or whatever you want. He's always getting in trouble with the drill sergeant or whatever, the drill teacher, and so. But he eventually grows up, and all his classmates grow up, and he's a family man. He becomes a shirt salesman, and he's got a wife whose name is, I think, Sugako, and his son, whose name is never given, and his daughter Miyako. And so he works for the insurance salesman as an insurance salesman, and one of his coworkers gets fired because the last two people he gave a policy to died shortly after he signed them. And so he's really upset by this, and so he ends up wanting to stage a protest, but Okajima ends up being the only one who really goes through with it. And so he ends up standing up to his boss and gets himself fired. And this was the day that he was supposed to get his bonus, and his son really wants a bicycle. He ended up getting him a scooter instead. However, the scooter doesn't impress his son, and so he ends up getting upset and all that. And eventually, and the plot thickens a little more when Miyako comes home sick with diarrhea, and he wants to pay the bill, but he can't pay the bill, so he ends up having to sell his wife's kimono to pay for it. And so later on, he ends up meeting his old teacher, and they meet and all that, and he's running a cafe called the Calorie Cafe. And so he ends up getting a job holding signs and passing out flyers and all that. And his wife's really upset about this because this was the same job that one of his friend who got fired got after he was fired. And so she feels that the job was beneath him. And so she's really upset by this. And but at the same time, she ends up still supporting him in the end. And he ends up getting he has a reunion with his old classmates, and he gets a letter from head of education saying that he got a job working as a teacher now. He's teaching English, and so things are looking up at the end, and they sing a song at the end, and that's basically it. So again, I think probably the funniest scene in Tokyo Chorus is the scene where he ends up battling his boss, because they have this really humorous fight where they just push each other, or they beat each other with fans, and then they just keep going back and forth, and then they start pushing each other, and it's get at it, but that's probably the funniest scene. And again, the son is funny as well. So yeah, that's all I've got. Again, it's another great comedy. Ozu definitely had it, and he eventually. This was probably one of his earliest comedies, And, he would definitely strengthen it with movies like I Was Born But and Good Morning. But I think his main focus was dramas. I think he could really knock out a lot of great dramas. And that's all I've got. So I will leave it at that. Overall, I think this is a great set. If you're a fan of Yasuyorozu and you'd like to see more angles than just the bottom of the floor, then this is a set that you might want to sink your teeth into. I'd highly check it out. I think, definitely, again, my favorite, if I had to rank them, my favorite was I Was Born But, then Tokyo Chorus and Passing Fancy. And, that's it. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Next up, Criterion 8's coming back, and you won't see me for a while. I know the next set we have is the Larissa, what's her name? Number 11 is Larissa Shepitko, and we won't have that one. We've got 2 movies in that set, The Ascent and Wings. And that one, won't be for a while. We'll probably get to that one. Just checking my schedule. Probably won't be for a couple of weeks. Let's see what Criterion it's got going. I'd say, there's no real way of telling. That's strange. I thought we had did all this. But so it's going to be a bit of a wait. It's going to be probably, I don't know, let's say probably a week or 2 before we get to before I get back. So we'll see. We'll Criterion will confirm all that. I don't keep this stuff. He takes care of all that crap. I just watch the movies. So Anyway, that's everything. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in a week or 2 for the Larissa Shepitko set. And until then, goodbye.